I like walking on narrow edges, but this one did freak me out a little at the top. In my last video I was in the Loire. From there I headed pretty much straight down the coast. This is Saint-Gilles-Croix-de-Vie, and at the right tide and conditions the waves pound up a channel in the rocks, which apparently looks awesome enough to have made it a popular spot. It didn't happen when I was there, but that didn't stop me from enjoying the place. I kept trying to leave the sea, but every time I moved another incredible wave came along and I turned back for more. I've been fascinated with the sea since I was a kid. I remember seeing a photo of a curl of a big surf wave and thinking, I want to see that, I want to do that, I want to be in that magical curl. It was long before realising I wanted to be a photographer. I just couldn't get over how incredible it looked. There's this moment as the wave reaches its peak before it drops, when it looks as though it hesitates for a split second. I love that moment. And when I'm there, right beside the sea, it's like I'm recharged by the energy of the water. On my way down the Atlantic coast, I stopped by La Rochelle. I have an aunt and uncle that live there, who I hadn't seen in a decade, so it was lovely to catch up with them.
As long as you pay.
This was my uncle's response when I asked if he minded being on film. As long as you pay. They took me over to Ile de Ré, and amazingly, after quite a few grey days, the sky cleared for a few hours and we had beautiful sunshine. I wished I had my swimming stuff with me because the sea looked incredibly inviting. The island was very quiet, totally dead in places, but apparently it gets overrun with people during the warmer months. My uncle explained that the prison in Saint-Martin-de-Ré kept prisoners before they were shipped off to penal colonies.
Go here and then go down the steps. The ship would be here. Well, so let's say a boat, because it's not right. And they would be transferred to another bigger ship, which is further away. And then they go direction Guyana. And especially there were people who were killed then. But someone was sent over there just because they stole bread.
That evening, my aunt showed me some good spots in La Rochelle that were very photogenic. She also showed me all this cool street art, and I went back in the rain the next day to photograph it. Oddly, this area is right by the old port. I loved the covered streets and old buildings, but quickly hit my city limit when exploring the next day. They gave me a room inside with a desk to work from, which was a bit of a change from editing on my bed. After leaving La Rochelle, I headed out for a couple of days tucked away in nature near Broyage. It was one of those places where I arrived for an evening and just didn't end up moving on the next day. It was quiet, there were loads of birds around, a few more ragonda, and after a couple of days of rain it stopped enough for me to wander around outside enjoying the peace. I haven't figured out how to film this many birds in flight, but watching them was amazing. This is a lazy day in my van. It's stopped raining and the sun's come out and the wind has died down a little bit, so I'm just getting some nice ventilation. And I haven't even made the bed properly today. I've been in the bed most of the morning, just doing some work on my laptop. There is a kingfisher out. I heard a bird call when I was eating my lunch and used my wonderful Merlin app, and it said, "That's a kingfisher." I just saw this flash go past and I was like, I missed it. Didn't even have my camera ready, which is stupid. And then I just saw it on the reeds there. I've got my camera under my arm, which is why I can't really use my fingers. I just saw it there and I've got my camera in my hands now and didn't catch it. It went round the corner. It went off around there and then it went back across there somewhere. And now I'm like, I wonder how long I should stand here and see if it reappears, and then if I even have the ability to capture it with how fast it moves. Oh, it looked cool though. I've only seen one once in Scotland, so this is very exciting. Sitting in bed doing some work and looked out the window and there's a little creature. I was just thinking about that kingfisher again and the fact I need to send a message to my friend Jem to let her know, and I just saw it fly across the water there. Obviously no photographic evidence. Again. I'm cooking dinner. My light's off because I'm trying not to let too many bugs in because my back doors are a little bit open and my side door's open for ventilation. Before I left my aunt and uncle's place, we were looking at some places for me to explore. So they're in La Rochelle. We went over to Ile de Ré, and I wanted to come down here and go to Ile d'Orient. That's some dodgy pronunciation. Voyage La Tremblade apparently has some cool like fishing huts and stuff along. I think it's along this section of the coast. I'm just hoping for like clear skies at some point to get a sunset. Oh, there's some socks. So that I can actually enjoy that and take some cool photos. But before going to La Rochelle, where was I? I was up here, Saint-Gilles-Croix-de-Vie. And I am heading down towards Bordeaux, which is down here. There's Arcachon, which my mum is always talking about. I guess she spent lots of time there or really enjoyed it when she was a kid / adult, I'm not sure. I've got family in Bordeaux and then some out this way near Libourne somewhere. So that's the way I'm headed, but just going to see some things on the way. This whole book is obviously in French. All these are the notes of where I should go. It is in French, as you would expect from French people. So the only issue is it does take a little bit of brain power and a little bit of a dictionary or Google Translate for me to read it. But still has some cool, helpful things, and in more detail because it's a whole book for this area than my overall France book, which is in English. These are what I want to see. And that is where I'm off to today, I hope. Via, I don't know where the other one is, via here. Sometimes I don't trust the length of my legs. Voyage was founded in 1555 and built on swampy land that had previously been underwater. It was fortified in the 16th century as a Catholic bastion in order to fight against the neighbouring Protestant town of La Rochelle. Gradually the harbour silted up towards the end of the 17th century, leaving the town stranded and useless as a port. It's now surrounded by marshland and a few kilometres from the sea. It's kind of bizarre to think that the sea used to be, I guess, pretty close to here, because that was the reason that they had a walled city. And now it's land. Get out that way. As you can see, it was really busy when I was there. I had a nice little explore in some rather variable weather. Windy, icy, wet, then sunny, then wet again. Look how cute this place is! I kind of want to live there, except that there's people around, but, well, not today, but I'm sure there are at times. But it looks so cute. This is actually the ice house.